Okay, so welcome to our hero of the month for June 24, Gienah. Hey Gienah, welcome. Um, Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Let's maybe just start by finding out a bit about you. Tell us, Gienah, about you, a little bit about you personally, a little bit professionally. I would love to hear a bit more.
So my name is Gienah Misa. I'm 32 years old from Dumaguete City, and I took a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and graduated back in 2012. So I'm just a regular person who spends most of my time either working or doing chores at home. I'm actually a single parent to a bright 10-year-old boy, and I've spent nearly a decade in the BPO industry, specializing in the healthcare line of business. And it may not sound exciting, but it's a steady balance of work and family life. So I have been a virtual assistant for 2 years now. With the GP Hero actually, and my client right now with GP Hero is my very first client and my only client up until now.
Well, you're here from near the beginning, uh, and you've been in BPO for 10 years. Um, and here for nearly two and a half.
Hmm.
I'd love to hear. So you joined in July 22, and you would have
Hmm.
been working then already. So
Hmm.
why did you switch? Why did you change to GP Hero? What was the reason?
Well, first thing is it's the day shift, really, because I've been working in the BPO industry, so most of my duty would be on a graveyard shift, so it's night shift, and it's really tiring, waking up at night and then sleeping in the morning. It's I don't like how it's like I'm not nocturnal at all. So that's why I tried to find a job that's a day shift, and I found GP Hero. Another thing is the location perks, the proximity of GP Hero office from my home and from my son's school is just like half a mile away.
Right?
So yeah, and then well, we have supportive environment here, so yeah, I'm looking forward for a company that's not having like a toxic environment, because there will be times that work itself is toxic and then
Mm,
your environment will be toxic as well, so it won't be helping you at all
mm.
mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. And so your son would have been sort of 7 or 8 when you switched.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining if you were doing night shifts and having a 7, 8 year old, that would have been quite challenging. Excellent. So um, you're here from near the beginning, and you've been in BPO for 10 years. Um, and here for nearly two and a half.
Hmm.
I'd love to hear. So you joined in July 22, and you would have
Hmm.
been working then already. So
Hmm.
why did you switch? Why did you change to GP Hero? What was the reason?
Well, first thing is it's the day shift, really, because I've been working in the BPO industry, so most of my duty would be on a graveyard shift, so it's night shift, and it's really tiring, waking up at night and then sleeping in the morning. It's I don't like how it's like I'm not nocturnal at all, so that's why I tried to find a job that's a day shift, and I found GP Hero. Another thing is the location perks, the proximity of GP Hero office from my home and from my son's school is just like half a mile away.
Right?
So yeah, and then well, we have supportive environment here, so yeah, I'm looking forward for a company that's um not having like a toxic environment, because there will be times that work itself is toxic and then
Mm,
your environment will be toxic as well, so it won't be helping you at all
mm.
mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. And so your son would have been sort of 7 or 8 when you switched.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining if you were doing night shifts and having a 7, 8 year old, that would have been quite challenging.
Yeah, actually, he was with my mother. It was during the pandemic
Right.
when he started his first grade and then second grade.
Mm,
And at that time, they were doing online and modular classes.
mm,
So he's left with my mother. But then when the pandemic has ended and we started like going back to the normal
mm,
school days, so I had to really find a job, a day shift job, so that I could spend the night with him
mm,
at home. Yeah.
absolutely. And so, how is it now? How is life now? 2 years on, day shifts. Your son's settled in, going to school now, I'm imagining. So, how's life now?
It's been great. To be honest, I've been because during my years in the BPO industry, I have developed insomnia. So it's really hard for me to get some sleep. And now that I'm on a day shift job, so it's been great. Really. I can't I have not I can't think of any word about being able to be employed at a very good company as well on a day shift.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm glad. And so, sleeping is better now?
Yes, better
Good.
now. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm someone who struggles as well. I know how it is. It's frustrating when you can't sleep. Uh, so now thinking about the work you do day to day, tell me a bit about, what a normal day looks like for you and the types of tasks you do and the things you really enjoy.
Okay. So basically with my client right now we are three VAs. I think you have uh interviewed earlier, Sherlyn.
Hmm.
We work on the same clinic.
Right.
We are three VAs, yes.
Mm,
And well, our main task is reception calls, like we do inbound
right.
appointment scheduling, rescheduling, confirming of appointments. We also do bulk billing, document imports for allocation for the doctors and patients file, and then I also create marketing videos to be posted to the Facebook page of my client, and I'm doing the doctor's roster, and also I'm being assigned for ad hoc tasks by my practice manager every now and then.
Right. So you guys do, so you're a team of three VAs working with
Yeah.
one practice and we work together and you're doing a whole variety of tasks, not just
Yes.
one or two things between you. It must be a big load off the physical team in the practice. And then I imagine you have to work quite closely with the practice team as well, the physical team that are in the practice. You probably have to liaise with them from time to time.
Yes, if we have further questions or if we have things that we don't know how to address,
Hmm.
so we'll have to reach out to them with especially um difficult or yeah, complicated situations. We'll
Hmm.
have to reach out to our receptionist or reception manager at the
Hmm.
front desk in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. And that works well, smoothly.
I would say pretty much because we are actually receiving high volume of calls, so
Hmm.
sometimes it's really hard to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
But we have Slack where we
Hmm.
can just message them, and sometimes they will be able to respond quickly.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Cool. And then what's your favorite thing amongst all those tasks that you were just mentioning? What are your favorite tasks?
handling inbound calls, that's my favorite task because well, you get to talk to people, and it's a lot better that way and to enhance my communication skills as well. So
Uh-huh.
it helps me that way.
How's that been? How have you found it? With patients, sort of patients calling into the practice, the calls that come straight to you. How have you found that? Like the interaction with the patients, how have you found the effectiveness, the smoothness of that?
Um, it's it's a bit well, it's better than actually, to be honest, talking to Australians
Yeah.
is better than talking to Americans. No offense, because Australians are very sweet, they're very patient, and they're very appreciative. Every time that they seek help from you or from anyone,
Hmm.
regardless if we're not able to totally help them with their concern, but
Mhm.
still they are appreciative of you trying to help them. Unlike other nationalities, they really they get cranky or so. Yeah, I'd rather um yeah, it's really better to be speaking with them.
Yeah, nice. And you've had 8 years of experience before, uh,
And
in
mostly in the
elsewhere.
US.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite different, absolutely. Um, cool. So now let's switch a little. Let's thinking about your experiences with GP Hero. You've been at GP Hero for 2.25 years nearly.
Mhm.
How's your experience been with GP Hero in that time?
Again, it's great. I love the company. My colleagues here, they're very nice, they're very approachable, especially the management, my supervisor, it's they're very approachable. Um, and for any kinds of concerns that I may have, as far as I can remember, they're able to address it and they're able to help me. So um, i- overall, I don't have any problems. I haven't encountered yet. Hopefully, won't be able to encounter any problems in the future with GP Hero.
Cool. And then, you've been here a while now, and obviously with one practice the whole time. Um, uh, you'd have you came from a different healthcare environment, and you came
Mhm.
here. Um, you obviously had some training, then you've done a
Mhm.
lot of different tasks and work. What are your big learnings in that time? What are the big things that stick out for you that you've learned?
Well, for me, the biggest learning that I have experienced during training is um, you just gotta take it slow and try to like understand or like comprehend everything that you've been uh, learning during training, and if there is a way for you to apply it in your daily living as an individual, then uh, do it.
Hmm. Yeah, so take your learning, take your time, apply it to what you're doing as a task. Um,
Yes.
and then get faster over time, but just
Yes,
take your time
exactly.
first. Cool. Um, Now someone's watching this who maybe they're thinking of becoming a GP hero, like joining
Mm-hmm.
GP hero. Maybe they're, working somewhere else, or they've just graduated and they're thinking, oh, maybe this looks right for me. What would you say to that person who's thinking of joining GP Hero?
I would highly suggest or encourage them to apply since we have great benefits here and you can learn a lot of stuff because every VA here in GP Hero has different clients. So some tasks are different as well. So you have the chance to learn new stuff that might be beneficial for you in the future.
Hmm. Thank you. And then on the flip side, there might be a practice owner or practice manager here in Australia who's thinking, oh, maybe I should get a hero to come and join my team in my practice.
Mhm.
What would you say to them?
Well, I'm not really sure if everyone knows that GP Hero's office is based here in the Philippines, but
Mhm.
just so you know, GP Hero is based here in the Philippines, and if you don't know as well, Sachin, Philippines is widely regarded as the call center capital of the world. So hiring a virtual assistant in the Philippines is cost effective compared to hiring locally in other countries like the US, UK, Australia. So the lower the cost of living in the Philippines allows businesses to access highly skilled talent at a fraction of the cost.
Cool. Um, And I've two more questions. I'm going to leave you alone. My, Obviously, you won the award in June,
Mhm.
and I'd love to know. You'd have got a prize at the time. What did you do to celebrate? What did you do after you won?
Oh, we actually ate dinner with my family, my mom, my partner, and my son. We went out for a dinner, and then I bought my son a toy because that's what he wants. So yeah, that's just all I did for the prize that I got.
Yeah, you shared with your family. That's
Yes.
beautiful. All right, last question now. I've asked you quite a lot of questions so far. Um, is there anything else you want to share or say that I haven't covered that you think would be useful to just share? So uh, I'll hand over to you. whatever you want to say or share, anything at all, over to you.
Well, it's really great, and I'm beyond blessed to be employed here at GP Hero and being selected as a hero to work for my client. So, again, my client has been, I mean, my client right now has been my client since I started working here at GP Hero, and they're very appreciative and very generous, not only with incentives but with patience and understanding. So I would like to thank GP Hero for considering my application, and as well as my client for hiring me to be a part of their company as well.
That's so awesome. Uh, Thank you so much, Gienah,
You're
for
welcome.
everything you've shared, and keep doing such wonderful work. You're doing
Th-
awesome.
Thank you so much, Sashin.